Fantastic. So welcome everyone. Thank you all for tuning in tonight to Let's Talk Change. So this is the first of 6 shows that we're doing around creating change. So tonight we're going to focus on how to discover your ideal self. So each of us has an ideal self that we'd like to be. We know it's there, we just don't know how to tap into that ideal self, because most of us have never actually thought beyond I can do better or there must be more to life. So what this means is you could be feeling stuck in your career, it could be your relationships, or even life itself. You may find you're lacking clarity, maybe disconnected with what's important to you or even important in your life. What this means is it can result in procrastination, self-sabotage, could be low self-esteem, lack of confidence, and ultimately this can lead to a lack of self-love. So our lives are made up of moment-to-moment experiences, and what we choose for ourselves in this moment will determine how we feel about life. So it's really ultimately us determining how we feel about ourselves, because how we feel about ourselves is reflected back out, and to a degree that's what we're going to get back. So we have right now the power to choose a different us who makes decisions, moves forward instead of pulls back, a different us who embraces all that life has to offer. We just somehow let life get in the way. Life just tends to happen to us. So tonight is about assisting you to get some clarity around who you truly are by exploring what experiences you want to have. So many people are clear on what they don't want, but how many of you are clear on what you do want and what makes you happy? It's not something you usually tend to think about. You know, we don't really know what our purpose is, or may not even have a purpose. What are your values? You know, what's truly important to you? So ask yourself right now, what are your beliefs? What are your values? What are the attitudes and drivers that you live by your life day to day? You know, what is it you focus on in your life? I mean, for so many of us, life just happens. We go to school. We go through school, we then decide to have a career, or maybe university, or study, or go into a trade or apprenticeship, or working, and then we end up in relationships, getting married, having children, families, and just before you know it, got to a certain point, and life's just half gone. When we really sat down and questioned the why or the purpose, we just made choices along the way, all for valid reasons, but never really sat there and thought about why we've made those choices, and ultimately, is it where we want to be? And are we living our ideal life? Is this what's making us happy? Is there more? What else could we be doing? Now in life, there's sort of a golden rule. What we get, or what we focus on, is what we get to the exclusion of everything else. So it makes sense to focus on your ideal life. The success principle goes to the heart of the results that we experience in our lives. You know, what you focus on is what you'll get to the exclusion of everything else. You can only experience what you search for because everything else is outside of your experience. You've filtered everything else out. The external world that you see comes through this filtering lens of your personality, of who you are, of your beliefs, and your attitudes. Two people can look upon exactly the same situation and see it completely differently based on who they are, based on what they expect to find. You know, for example, if you see someone you know walking towards you down the footpath, you're going one way, they're going the other way. They've got their head down, and they're walking fast, they walk straight past you without looking at you. You know, one person might think, oh shit, they must be really busy or really stressed out today. I should give them a call and see if they're okay. Someone else in the exact same situation might apply a totally different meaning to the same situation, exactly the same scenario, and think, oh, they've just walked by me without acknowledging me. How rude. Maybe they don't like me. Maybe I've done something wrong to offend them. So two completely different reactions to exactly the same scenario, purely based on the value, the meaning that we attach to that situation. So nothing has meaning except the meaning that we give it. We create our beliefs, and we create our values, and these shape how we interpret our world. Start to become aware of how you shape your world and the meaning that you give to things. We have stories around everything. Start to be aware of your stories. If the story's not serving you, create a new belief. Create a new story. Start to become consciously aware of what you're doing, the choices you're making, and the meaning that you're giving to things. I want you to imagine a torch beam being shone in a warehouse. And in this warehouse is pure potential. This warehouse represents your life. This life, your ideal self. Every potential or possibility exists in this warehouse. But what does the torchlight pick up on? It only picks up where it's focused on or what it's shining on. What if you focused on the corner of the warehouse that is just empty? There's nothing there. What would you think this warehouse contains? Would it occur to you that it contained every possibility if you only saw this emptiness and that space? Now move your torchlight a little bit to the left. And notice what's to the left of that spot in the warehouse. It's filled with abundance, not just abundance in material sense, but abundance of health and of happiness and of love and of relationships and sharing and contribution and personal growth. What if your ideal life is all there filling up in that warehouse? You've just never noticed it before. Now, if you'd only ever shone your torchlight there, and that had been your only experience with this warehouse, what would you think existed in this warehouse? What would you think existed, or the potential, the possibility that existed in your life if you only just shone it in that one corner, that one part you focused on, that you're aware of now? Let's stretch the metaphor and turn the floodlights of experience in the entire warehouse and see all the potential, all the possibilities that are always there and have always been there. Now, the possibilities with the success principle are pretty endless. If you focus, for example, on how you fear a situation, what are you going to get more of? Of course, you're going to get more fear. We say it all the time in the yoga room. Focus on the heat, you'll get more heat. Focus on your breath, and you'll get more breath. You know, what if you focus instead on how you can appreciate this moment as an opportunity to learn and to grow? What do you think you might start noticing? Do you think you'd experience it differently? How you approach something is what you're going to be searching for. What are you going to be focusing on? If you're focusing on how hard it is and how impossible it seems to be, or think, I'm never going to get there, then that's what you're going to experience more of. If you focus instead on the opportunity or the gift, the wonderful gift that is giving you to learn and to grow and become more of who you truly are, you'll see things entirely differently. Now, what if you did that all the time? What if you moved your focus constantly to the opportunities, the abundance, the opportunity to learn and to grow and to give and to love? What if you're constantly focusing on living your ideal life? What if you did that on a consistent basis, not just moment to moment, occasionally when you remember, but all the time? What results do you think you'd start getting reflected back to you in your life and your relationships? You know, I think you'd be amazed. I think you'd really start to notice the possibilities. Most people think life is about getting stuff, having something or getting something, more happiness, more time, more freedom, more money, better car, bigger house. The truth is, more stuff is not the answer to a fulfilling life. A life well lived consists of constantly experiencing what it is you value experiencing. You want to see the whole warehouse, that beautiful warehouse full of possibilities and abundance and that pure potential for you and for your life. Now, so what does this mean for you? What experiences do you value? Is it time with family, reading, a hobby, being with friends, eating out, cooking, dining, your yoga? What is it for you? What are those things that you enjoy, those moments of experience that you enjoy, that give you happiness, that you want to have more of? Whatever it is for you, the first place to start is by asking yourself, you know, what is my ideal average day? The day which, if I was to live it every day, I'd never get bored, I'd never get sick, and it wouldn't hurt anyone. Your average ideal day. What is you want to be doing every day of your life? The swings and roundabouts. So it's not about winning the lotto and spending all day on the beach. You know, the truth is, holidays can only sustain us for a short time. We're designed to experience life, not constantly experience escaping from life. You know, avoiding responsibility through long breaks in life is not an ideal average day. It's escapism. I know it sounds harsh, but when you think about it, it's not sustainable. No matter who you are, it does become boring after a while. We can only lie on a beach for so long, they do so many books, so much tan. And then the question becomes, what now? Now what do I do? After your holiday and the time out or escape is done and you're ready to get back into your life, living your life and building something meaningful, what does your day comprise of? We have a certain number of years left in our life to live. This breaks down to many days, and each day is made up of moments of experience. So what moments of experience do you desire? I'd love to share an exercise with you. It's designed to get you back to your core. You know, it's about answering some questions, just really starting to think for yourself and help you discover what your ideal average day is. So I'd just like to spend a couple of minutes. I'm going to set the tone, just to allow you to breathe out your day. Just come back to focusing on purely on yourself. So visualization exercises allow you to connect back to you. So the first thing we're going to do is a breathing exercise. So what I'd love you to do is just close your eyes. If you're sitting down, just sitting down, both feet firmly planted on the ground. Just grounding yourself. And sitting up tall, sit up tall in your chair. Just sitting up. And just relax your shoulders, just sink back into it. So just relaxing in that upright position, keeping your eyes closed. Just imagine Savasana's end of your class, that beautiful class. Now it's just time to relax. Just breathe it out. We're going to come back to a breath. Breathing in and out through your nose. Just start to focus on your breaths. So breathing through your nose, you're going to fill up your lungs. Letting your diaphragm expand, breathing all the way into your belly, filling up your belly. As you exhale, slowly allowing your belly to fall. Breathing out through your nose. Lungs start to collapse. Emptying your lungs. Deep inhale breath. Inhale, belly rising. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, belly falls. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, belly rising. 3, 2, 4. Exhale, belly falls. 3, 2, 1. Just take a couple of seconds, just scan your body. Notice where you might feel tension in your body. It's your neck, your shoulders. Send your breath. Breathe into whatever part of your body you need to relax. So breathe out the tension. Just starting to connect back to yourself. And just keeping your eyes closed, I want you to imagine right now your average ideal day. The day that's sustainable. The day you want to live every day for the rest of your life. So you've woken up in your average ideal day. Where would you live? Just imagine what your house would look like. What are you seeing out your window? What are you hearing? Who's with you? What are you feeling? What do you have for breakfast on your average ideal day? What's that breakfast you want to maintain and have that makes you feel good? What does the mundane stuff look like? What other chores do you have to do before you can leave the house? So we're going to spend the first half of your day doing. Where are you going? Who are you seeing? What are you talking about? What's the conversation about? Is it work? Is it study? Is it being with family? What are you doing? Who are you with? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? So think about that right now. Really think about that average ideal day. What's getting you up in the morning? What do you do for the rest of the day? Who do you see? Where do you go? What do you have for dinner? Really spend some time thinking about your day, connecting back to what you're feeling. What are you seeing in your day? Really be in your average ideal day right now. Notice what is happening around you. What are you telling yourself? What are you hearing? Notice what you're seeing. Notice what you're feeling. What are you telling yourself is possible in this day? Now let's go bigger, the bigger stuff. As part of this average ideal day, what would you do for personal fulfillment? What life purpose would you strive towards? Keep asking yourself for what purpose until you know what truly matters to you. You know, what makes your heart sing? What legacy would you leave behind? Let's imagine you're writing a eulogy. What would you like to say about yourself? What did you give? What did you contribute? What do you want people to remember you by that you did? Be over and above yourself. And yoga and ultimately our life is about giving. Giving ourselves and giving to others. What is it you gave? What did you give other people? What did that give you? Just think about it right now. Just really think about what's making your heart sing. What's the higher intent? What does all this give you? What does it give others? What are you feeling right now? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are you believing is possible for your life that you've created and helped others to create? Now, this exercise can be quite challenging, can be quite confronting if you've never thought this way before or questioned your life. It's important to remember there is no right and wrong. It's simply what is important to you. What makes you get out of bed in the morning? What makes your heart sing? Remember, nothing has meaning except the meaning you give it. Only thing that is important is what is important to you. The story you want for your life. The legacy you want to lead. Take note of it. Write it down. Now the next step is to go about making your ideal day, your ideal life, a reality. It can take time. It can take maybe up to 12 months. It can take years. It's not the point. But starting to take steps towards building your ideal day, you're committing you. You're committing to yourself. And you're committing to being the best version of you that you can be. You're aligning yourself with your purpose, your why, and that's so incredibly empowering. It also makes the choices you make in life clearer. Ask yourself, is this going to help me achieve my purpose or fulfill my ideal average day? Take responsibility for your life. Take responsibility for the decisions you make on a day-to-day basis. And make sure the decisions you are making are aligned with your value, with your purpose. Don't just let life pass you by. Drive. Be the driver in your own life. Take responsibility for your life. You know, there's a beautiful quote by Mahatma Gandhi, which I'll just put up on the screen. You're slowly bring yourself back. Or just simply stay with your eyes closed and listen. Keep your thoughts positive, because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive, because your words become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive, because your behavior becomes your habits. Keep your habits positive, because your habits become your values. Keep your values positive, because your values become your destiny. Create your destiny right now. Don't be a passenger in your own life and let it simply happen to you. Be the driver in the driver's seat and create your destiny. Write down your purpose. Put it somewhere you can see it every day. Remind yourself what is important to you. Discover your ideal self and take the steps towards living your ideal life. Bring conscious awareness to your thoughts, your words, your behavior. And make decisions based on asking yourself the questions. Will this get me a step closer to my ideal self, living my ideal life? Now, you're responsible for 3 things in your life. You're responsible for the thoughts you choose to focus on. And remember, those thoughts create your destiny. You're responsible for the meaning you give to those thoughts, the stories you tell yourself, the beliefs, the values, the attitudes you create around those thoughts. You're responsible for the decisions you make as a result. There's a consequence of every decision you make, every choice you make. Remember, non-action has a consequence. Non-action by doing nothing still has a result. It's still an action. So make the decision right now to discover your ideal self and live your ideal life. And I've always believed in following my passion. And it's important to me to help other people find and follow their passion. And I hope this exercise got you thinking about what's important to you and why it's so important to spend some time. Ask yourself these questions. So I'd love some of you guys just to type in and just what came up for you. Yeah, what did you learn? Yeah, it's a lot to absorb. It's a lot to take in one hit. It's one of the exercises that it's just a taste. I mean, I hope I've given you guys a taste of what you can explore and experience within yourself. Someone's just typed in, and let me get a copy of this and the questions and the exercise. Yep, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to post it on the Let's Talk Change website. So it's actually a page at the moment on the bikramyoga.co.nz site, this Let's Talk Change. So I'm going to post a copy of the slides that came up today, just the key points, and it does have the exercise in it. So it's just a great refresher to go through. So when you've got some time, what would be fantastic is to actually go through and sit down and do this. So greater just in breathing beforehand, just to set the tone and set that focus for yourself. And then just go through and just write it down. Write down your ideal average day. And really start to think about, for what purpose am I doing this? What's the greatest intent of this for me? What am I getting out of it? Because as I said, then the decisions we make in our life, the choices we make, we're aligning with our purpose. I mean, how many of you guys have had goals and haven't been able to stick to it? Because sometimes goals are random. But unless your goals are aligned to your purpose, there's no reason to stick to your goals. there's no higher purpose, no higher meaning. There's no attachment to those goals. If those goals are aligned to your purpose, your why, what makes you get out of bed in the morning, what makes your heart sing, you can have a lot more ability and energy and focus around achieving those goals. There's much more at stake. If they're aligned to your values and your purpose, you can achieve them a lot more. Someone just asked about goals. It's a fantastic question. We're not actually going to do a goal. I haven't actually got set up a webinar around goal setting, but it's definitely something that we would like to do at a later date. So if any of you guys are really interested in that whole idea of creating goals and how to set smart goals and just even more work on how to align your goals to your values and your purpose, just let me know, and it's something we can develop and go further on. So most of you guys seem pretty shy out there, so just feel free to just type in something and any feedback. And if you're not comfortable doing it today, just feel free to send a message at some later date, to email me, send me a text, just put some message out there, just to, even a few days, just notice what comes up for you. I'd really love to get your feedback ongoing about, what's coming up for you. So I really hope that you guys can make the decision now to discover your ideal self and live your ideal day. Understand how important it is, how fulfilling, how empowering it is when you take control of your life. Take responsibility for your life, the decisions you make and the results that you're getting in your life. I'd love to share with you some of the strategies I've learnt. Living a happy, healthy life, knowing your purpose, ultimately just being the best that you can be, because that's what life's about. Being the best that you can be. Being happy. Just create that ideal self. I'd love to offer you guys, anyone's interested, in a complimentary 45-minute session just with me talking about change, talking about anything. Anything to do with change, yourself, goals, your ideal self. This exercise is quite confronting, quite challenging. We can do it together and just one-on-one, or just anything that comes up as a result. I'd love to get your feedback. Just come and have a chat about anything. You can make an appointment on the Let's Talk Change. There's a link to appointment, or can't find a time that suits. Just send me an email, get in touch, ask me next time you see me. We can set up a time. But most of all, I just love you guys to start thinking about what's possible for you in your life, and really discover how to live your ideal life. So thanks guys, thank you so much for your time, and I really hope you've got something out of tonight's session. So thank you, and here's to living your ideal self. Thank you. Bye bye.